Chapter 21. Establishing the secret base. Leaving the sect behind, Lin Wu's group journeyed toward the Sky Peak Mountains, a remote and treacherous region. With towering cliffs, dense forests, and hidden valleys, the terrain offered a perfect refuge to regroup and plan for the future. "We need a place both secure for training and resource-rich for survival," Lu Feng said, carefully surveying the rugged landscape. The black fox leapt onto a boulder, its sharp eyes glinting. "I sense a faint spiritual energy to the east. That could be the place we're looking for." Following the black fox's lead, the group discovered a large cave concealed behind a waterfall after hours of trekking. Inside, the spacious caverns were interconnected like a natural labyrinth. "This is perfect," Bai Shui said, her expression showing rare satisfaction. Once they decided to make the cave their base, the group began organizing and fortifying it. Lu Feng used his expertise in formations to establish defensive barriers around the area. These barriers concealed their presence and warded off intruders. Bai Shui took charge of patrolling and mapping the surroundings, identifying water sources, medicinal herbs, and hidden entrances. Yan Nhi transformed a small chamber into an alchemy lab, meticulously arranging tools and ingredients to start crafting essential pills. The Black Fox patrolled the area with agility, scouting for potential threats and ensuring the group's safety. Lin Wu oversaw their efforts, ensuring everyone coordinated effectively and making strategic decisions for the base's future. "We'll turn this place into a fortress no one can penetrate," Lin Wu declared confidently. With the base established, the group focused on honing their skills and improving their strength. Lin Wu dedicated time to mastering the Jade Spirit Core's powers, discovering its ability to amplify spiritual energy and unleash devastating area attacks. Bai Shui sharpened her swordsmanship, her strikes growing faster and stronger. Yet, a melancholy lingered in her demeanor, as if searching for something lost. Lu Feng explored offensive formations, believing formations could serve as powerful weapons, not just defenses. Yan Nhi continued researching the Celestial Mind Purity Pill, crafting a variety of support pills to aid the group, from spiritual recovery to temporary power boosts. As they trained, the group realized they couldn't face the sect elders alone. They needed allies. The Black Fox was tasked with scouting for like-minded individuals or groups. It returned with news of a small band of exiled cultivators who had clashed with greedy elders in the past. "I'm not sure they're trustworthy," the Black Fox said, "but they hate the sect as much as we do." "Fine," Lin Wu replied. "We'll meet them and assess the situation. But stay alert." As they worked together, the group grew closer. Previous misunderstandings and doubts faded, replaced by mutual respect and trust. One evening, as they sat around a small campfire in the cave, Bai Shui broke the silence. "I never thought I'd have companions. But now, I can't imagine facing all this alone." Yan Nhi smiled gently. "Neither can I. You didn't just save me, you gave me a new family." Lu Feng, typically reserved, nodded slightly. "We may be outcasts, but sometimes outcasts are the strongest." The Black Fox chuckled. "Sounds like something out of a sappy speech. But I like it." While exploring deeper into the cave, the group uncovered a small chamber sealed by an ancient formation. Lu Feng identified it as a protective seal rather than a trap. Breaking the seal, they found an ancient sword radiating a faint glow from its scabbard. "This sword," Bai Shui whispered, her eyes lighting up with wonder. "It looks like it's been waiting for you," the Black Fox said, leaping onto a nearby rock. As Bai Shui grasped the sword, a powerful surge of energy filled the chamber. At the same time, her expression darkened, as if grappling with something deep within her soul. With the secret base established and each member growing stronger, Lin Wu's group prepared for the greater challenges ahead. "We've taken an important step," Lin Wu said, his eyes shining with determination. "But this is only the beginning. What lies ahead will be even more dangerous. And we won't falter," Bai Shui added, gripping her newly found sword tightly. "I like this spirit," the Black Fox quipped, hopping onto Lin Wu's shoulder. "Let's go, the fun's just getting started." Chapter 22. Bai Shui and the Ancient Sword. In a secluded chamber of the cave, the ancient sword rested silently on its stone pedestal, emitting a faint glow as if awaiting someone worthy to claim it. When Bai Shui touched it, a surge of powerful spiritual energy coursed through her, sending shivers down her spine. She felt a tremendous force, accompanied by an oppressive presence pressing into her mind. A faint voice echoed within her thoughts, as if the sword itself possessed a soul. "Do you have the strength to wield me? If not, I will destroy you." Though her hands trembled, Bai Shui's gaze remained resolute. "I will not submit to any power. If you wish to test me, do so." From the moment she claimed the sword, Bai Shui's strikes became sharper and more powerful. She could feel the sword amplifying her spiritual energy, with each swing releasing waves of force capable of tearing through the air. However, this newfound strength came at a cost. During training, she heard whispers in her mind, dredging up painful memories she had tried to bury. Are you truly strong, or merely running from your past? These words pierced her heart, forcing Bai Shui to pause mid-training. Are you all right? Lin Wu asked, concern in his voice as he noticed her labored breathing and trembling hands gripping the sword. I'm fine, she replied firmly. I just need more time to master it. At night, when everyone else was asleep, Bai Shui often woke abruptly from nightmares. She dreamt of standing on a blood-soaked battlefield, her hands stained red as anguished screams and accusing gazes surrounded her. In these dreams, the ancient sword appeared, its glow shifting to a fiery crimson, mocking her. You're just a killer. You're unworthy to wield me. Each time she awoke, Bai Shui would sit silently outside the cave, her gaze fixed on the starry sky, lost in thought. One evening, as Bai Shui sat by the stream, Lin Wu approached and took a seat beside her. If you keep everything bottled up, it will consume you, he said gently. Bai Shui turned to him, her usual sharp eyes softened by fatigue. I don't need anyone's help. This is the path I chose. You may walk your path alone, but you're no longer alone, Lin Wu replied, his gaze steady. You have me, you have the group. If you fall, we'll lift you up. His words left Bai Shui silent. For the first time in a long while, she felt a sense of comfort she thought she'd lost forever. The next day, during training, the sword's spirit suddenly surged to life. A blinding light enveloped Bai Shui, pulling her into a strange realm. It was a desolate wasteland, covered in blood and ash. Before her stood a mirror image of herself, holding the ancient sword. Do you truly believe you're worthy of wielding me? The doppelganger asked, its voice full of challenge. I don't need your approval, Bai Shui replied coldly. I'll prove it through my actions. A fierce battle erupted between the two, each strike filled with determination and strength. Yet the doppelganger wasn't merely an opponent, it was a reflection of Bai Shui's fears and guilt. You kill to survive, but you also kill for revenge. Do you really believe you're fighting for noble ideals? These words caused Bai Shui to hesitate. But as the doppelganger prepared to strike her down, she roared. I don't need to be perfect. I just need to grow stronger every day to protect what matters. With a decisive swing, Bai Shui shattered the doppelganger, claiming mastery over the ancient sword. When Bai Shui returned to consciousness, she felt a profound change within her. The ancient sword no longer resisted her. Instead, it became an extension of her being, amplifying her power to unprecedented levels. Her sword strikes were now imbued with pure spiritual energy, capable of breaking through even the most complex formations. You've done it, Lu Feng said, his voice tinged with admiration as he observed her dramatic improvement. Don't look so surprised, Bai Shui replied with a faint smile. I'm not one to fall so easily. As the group's strength continued to grow, Yen Nhi revealed an additional challenge. To complete the celestial mind purity pill, I need a rare herb called the mystic heartgrass. But it only grows in a cursed land where few have returned alive. Then we'll be the ones who return, Lin Wu said, his eyes gleaming with determination. Bai Shui, gripping her ancient sword tightly, nodded. There's nothing we can't overcome. Chapter 23. Yen Yi's Mission. In the stillness of the cave, the flickering firelight danced across Yen Yi's thoughtful face. After a long moment, she spoke with quiet determination. To complete the celestial mind purity pill, I need one last ingredient, mystic heartgrass. But obtaining it won't be easy. This herb only grows in the cursed wind ravine, a place shrouded in deadly traps and home to powerful spirit beasts. The group listened in silence until the black fox broke the tension with its usual sarcasm. Sounds like a delightful outing. So, what are we waiting for? Lin Wu asked, his eyes alight with determination. Waiting for you to be ready for the dangers ahead, Bai Shui replied, half joking. The next morning, the group set out for the cursed wind ravine. The path was treacherous, with steep cliffs and deep crevices cutting through the rugged terrain. Along the way, Yen Nhi shared more about the herb. Mystic heartgrass is not only rare but highly sensitive to the spiritual energy around it. It only blooms under the full moon and is often guarded by fierce spirit beasts or intricate formations. It sounds like it doesn't want to be picked, Lu Feng remarked, his sharp gaze scanning the horizon. That's why so few have ever returned from the ravine, Yen Nhi admitted, her voice dropping. But we'll be different, Lin Wu said confidently. As they neared the ravine, the group encountered a band of mercenaries sent by an elder to intercept them. Armed with sharp weapons and adept at channeling spiritual energy, the mercenaries presented an immediate threat. It seems we're not the only ones interested in mystic heartgrass, Lu Feng said, his expression tense. The battle erupted instantly. Bai Shui led the charge, her ancient sword unleashing swift and powerful strikes that left enemies reeling. Lu Feng trapped opponents in formations, giving his allies the upper hand. The Black Fox darted through the fray, disrupting the enemy's formation. Lin Wu focused on the leader, using the celestial sky sword to deliver precise, crushing blows. Though the group emerged victorious, they realized their enemies wouldn't stop so easily. Reaching the ravine, the group was struck by its eerie, foreboding atmosphere. Thick black mist cloaked the area, dead trees loomed like skeletons, and the wind carried a haunting, wailing sound. "Welcome to the place no one wants to revisit," the Black Fox quipped, its glowing eyes scanning the surroundings. Bai Shui drew her sword, sensing the strange energy rippling through the air. "We should split up to search for the mystic heartgrass, but stay within sight of one another." The group nodded and began cautiously moving through the twisted forest. Under the full moon's pale light, the group discovered a small clearing bathed in a faint glow. At its center was a cluster of blooming mystic heartgrass. As they approached, a thunderous roar shook the ground. A massive blood soul wolf, its crimson eyes glowing menacingly, emerged from the shadows. "There's no avoiding this fight," Lin Wu said, his grip tightening on his sword. The battle was intense. Bai Shui's rapid strikes inflicted deep wounds on the wolf's massive frame. Lu Feng created barriers to shield Yan Nhi while launching spiritual attacks to weaken the beast. The Black Fox darted in and out, harassing the wolf from every angle. Lin Wu combined his swordsmanship with his spiritual energy, delivering powerful blows that forced the wolf onto the defensive. After a grueling fight, the Blood Soul Wolf let out a final, echoing howl before collapsing. With the Guardian defeated, Yan Nhi approached the cluster of herbs, carefully picking each stalk. Her face radiated relief and gratitude. "This is the final step," she said softly but resolutely. "With this, I can complete the celestial mind purity pill. But first, we need to get out of here safely," Lu Feng reminded them, his sharp eyes scanning the area for potential threats. As the group prepared to leave the ravine, they discovered an ancient map hidden beneath the tree where the mystic heartgrass grew. The map appeared to lead to another location, rumored to hold a great secret about the pill's creator. "It seems our journey isn't over yet," Bai Shui said, her grip tightening on her sword. "And I'm sure it'll get even more interesting," the Black Fox added with a sly grin. Returning safely to their base, the group carried the mystic heartgrass and the ancient map. Exhausted but determined, their eyes gleamed with resolve for what lay ahead. "This is just the first step," Lin Wu said, his voice firm. "What we achieved today will lay the foundation for our future. And we won't let anyone stand in our way," Yan Nhi added, her voice filled with quiet determination. Chapter 24, Meeting the Spirit Fox. After collecting the mystic heartgrass, Lin Wu's group returned to their base to plan their next steps. However, Yan Nhi quickly realized another vital ingredient was needed to complete the celestial mind purity pill. "This herb's location isn't documented," Yan Nhi said thoughtfully. "But I've heard the Spirit Fox, an ancient mystical beast, might know where to find it." "The Spirit Fox?" Bai Shui raised an eyebrow. "Ancient beasts don't cooperate easily. Why would it help us?" "We'll have to convince it," the Black Fox chimed in, its eyes glinting mischievously. "I've heard of this creature, a temperamental one, but fascinating." Guided by the Black Fox, the group set out for the enchanted forest, the rumored home of the Spirit Fox. The expansive forest loomed ahead, its towering trees forming a canopy that blocked out most sunlight, casting the area in an ethereal twilight. Each step the group took seemed to echo, as though the forest itself was observing their every move. "I don't like this place," Yan Nhi murmured, shivering at the strange spiritual energy surrounding them. "That's because you can feel the Spirit Fox watching," the Black Fox replied with a sly grin. Reaching a clearing, the group was suddenly enveloped in a radiant light. A magnificent creature emerged, a massive fox with snow-white fur and piercing blue eyes that seemed to see through their very souls. "Who are you, and why do you trespass in my domain?" The Spirit Fox's voice echoed, resonating without its mouth moving. Lin Wu stepped forward calmly. "We mean no harm. We seek your aid in finding a rare herb, one we believe you may know of." The Spirit Fox's gaze bore into Lin Wu as though weighing his worth. After a long pause, it replied, "I can help, but only if you prove yourselves worthy." With a wave of its tail, the forest transformed. Each member of the group was drawn into a unique trial, confronting their deepest fears and weaknesses. Lin Wu faced visions of loved ones suffering due to his perceived failures. To overcome this, he had to accept that not everything could be within his control. Bai Shui confronted her blood-stained past as a sword cultivator, filled with vengeance and regret. She had to embrace her mistakes rather than flee from them. Lu Feng found himself in a labyrinthine formation, forced to choose between saving himself or his teammates. He learned that true strength lies in trusting others. Yen Nhi stood in a field of flames, her dreams consumed by the greed of those who sought her knowledge. She faced her fear and reaffirmed her commitment to her ideals. One by one, they emerged from their trials back into the clearing, where the spirit fox waited. "You have proven your courage and resolve," the spirit fox said, its tone less severe. "I will help you." Using its claws, the spirit fox etched a map into the ground, pointing them to the herb's location, an icy summit known as Frostbane Peak, the coldest and most perilous region nearby. "But beware," the spirit fox warned. "The peak is home to not only fierce beasts but trials that will test the strength of your soul." Before they left, the black fox approached the spirit fox, bowing in an unusually respectful manner. "Thank you, old friend. But why did you decide to help us?" The spirit fox chuckled softly. "I see potential in you all. You are not like those who seek power for its own sake, blind to the value of life. Would you consider joining us?" the black fox asked, its mischievous grin returning. The spirit fox shook its head. "My time has not yet come. But if you ever need me again, call upon the black fox. I will hear you." As they left the enchanted forest, the group carried a renewed sense of hope but remained aware of the challenges ahead. "Frostbane Peak will be unlike any place we've faced," Lu Feng said, his expression thoughtful. "We must prepare more thoroughly than ever." "Then let's get started," Lin Wu replied firmly. "There's no time to waste." Bai Shui gripped her sword tightly, a faint smile playing on her lips. "Show me what dares to stand in our way." Beneath the full moon, Lin Wu's group pressed on, their resolve stronger than ever. "We will return stronger," Yen Nhi said, her voice quiet but determined. "And nothing, nor anyone, will stop us," Lin Wu replied, his eyes gleaming with unwavering determination. Chapter 25, Frostbane Peak. Following the Spirit Fox's guidance, Lin Wu's group embarked on their journey to Frostbane Peak. Known as one of the coldest and most treacherous places, it was a destination few cultivators dared to venture. "It's not just the cold, it's the powerful beasts that make this place truly deadly," Lu Feng remarked as the group stood at the mountain's base, staring at its snow-covered summit shrouded in mist. "But that's why frost herb grows only here," Yen Nhi added, her eyes filled with determination. "Let's move," Lin Wu said, tightening his grip on the celestial sky sword at his side. The biting cold immediately tested the group as they began their ascent. Snowdrifts slowed their progress, and fierce winds threatened to sweep them off the path. Lu Feng created protective barriers to shield the group from the worst of the wind and snow. Bai Shui used her ancient sword's power to clear paths through areas of deep snow and avalanches. The black fox, with its thick fur and agility, scouted ahead for signs of the herb or hidden dangers. Yen Nhi distributed warming pills and energy-restoring elixirs to keep everyone moving. Despite the harsh conditions, their teamwork allowed them to make steady progress toward their goal. After hours of trekking across icy cliffs and evading natural hazards, the group finally reached a secluded valley near the summit. There, nestled among the snow, was a cluster of pristine white flowers glowing faintly in the dim light. "Frost herb," Yen Nhi whispered, her voice tinged with relief and awe. But as she stepped closer, a thunderous roar echoed across the valley, shaking the ground beneath their feet. Emerging from a nearby cave was a massive frost dragon beast. Its body was encased in shimmering ice, and its glowing eyes radiated intelligence and malice. Each breath it exhaled froze the air around it. "Of course, it couldn't be simple," the black fox quipped, leaping onto a nearby rock. "Guess we'll have to earn it." "Stay focused," Lin Wu said, his voice steady. "This beast isn't just powerful, it's cunning. We can't afford mistakes." The frost dragon beast lunged with terrifying speed, its tail sweeping across the ground and sending the group flying. Bai Shui, wielding her ancient sword, launched precise strikes, aiming for vulnerable spots in the beast's icy armor. Lu Feng used intricate formations to slow the beast's movements and protect Yen Nhi as she prepared supportive measures. Yen Nhi threw carefully crafted toxins at the beast, weakening its resistance and enhancing her teammates' strength. The black fox darted in and out, exploiting openings to disrupt the beast's focus. Lin Wu, channeling his spiritual energy through the celestial sky sword, unleashed a devastating attack aimed directly at the beast's chest, where its icy shell was thinnest. The battle raged on, with the group's coordinated efforts gradually wearing the beast down. Finally, Lin Wu delivered a decisive blow that shattered the frost dragon beast's icy heart. The frost dragon beast let out one final roar before collapsing into the snow. Though victorious, the group was left battered and exhausted. "We need to collect the frost herb and leave quickly," Lu Feng said, breathing heavily. Yen Nhi carefully harvested the glowing flowers, cradling them in her hands with a mix of gratitude and determination. "This is our hope," she said softly. While exploring the beast's lair, the group discovered a massive stone tablet inscribed with ancient symbols. As they deciphered it, they realized it was a warning from an ancient cultivator about a dormant force of immense danger buried beneath the mountain. "It seems we've stirred something far greater than we intended," Bai Shui said, her voice thoughtful. "That just makes the journey more interesting," the black fox replied, its grin sly. As dawn broke, the group began their descent. Although weary and bearing injuries, their unity and trust in one another had grown stronger than ever. "We've come too far to stop now," Lin Wu said, his eyes gleaming with determination. "And no one will stand in our way," Yen Nhi added, clutching the pouch containing the frost herb tightly. During the journey back, subtle gestures of care between Lin Wu and Yen Nhi became increasingly noticeable. Their shared smiles and moments of quiet understanding hinted at something deeper. "You should say something to her," the black fox teased Lin Wu, its glowing eyes sparkling with mischief. "If you don't, I will." Lin Wu smiled faintly but didn't reply, his gaze lingering on Yen Nhi with unspoken warmth. Chapter 26. Budding Emotions. After their grueling expedition to Frostbane Peak, Lin Wu and his group returned to their hideout, burdened by exhaustion and battle scars. Yet, in Yen Yi's hands were the invaluable frost herbs that signified a step closer to their goal. "Next, we must recover and prepare for even greater challenges," Lin Wu said as the group settled into the safety of their base. However, something subtle had shifted within the group. The closeness forged through their journey began to spark emotions that none of them had anticipated, particularly between Lin Wu and Yen Nhi. In the following days, Yen Nhi often visited Lin Wu to check on his injuries. "You need to rest more," she scolded gently, her tone mixing concern with admonishment. "I'm not used to staying idle," Lin Wu replied with a small smile, his eyes softening as they lingered on her. Her quiet gestures of care, bringing him herbal remedies, warm water, or simply sitting nearby to ensure he was okay, began to reveal her feelings more clearly to Lin Wu. One evening, as the group gathered around the campfire, conversation drifted to memories of their past lives. "Why did you choose this path, Yen Nhi?" Bai Shui asked, her gaze curious. Yen Yi's smile turned wistful. "When I was a child, I lost my family in a battle between sects. My master saved me and raised me, teaching me everything I know. She always said that the role of an alchemist is not just to create powerful pills, but to heal the world." Lin Wu watched her closely, resonating deeply with her words. He realized that her ideals mirrored his own, to protect what matters and challenge the injustices of the world. In the days that followed, their interactions grew more frequent and familiar. During training sessions, Lin Wu often noticed Yen Nhi watching him from a distance. "What are you looking at?" he teased with a grin when he caught her gaze. "I'm just wondering how someone can be so full of themselves," Yen Nhi retorted, her cheeks flushing as she turned away. Nearby, the black fox burst out laughing. "If you two keep this up, the tension is going to drive the rest of us insane." Though embarrassed, both felt a warmth they couldn't deny. As Lin Wu's feelings for Yen Nhi deepened, so did his hesitation. He worried that revealing his emotions might distract from their mission or, worse, put Yen Nhi in danger if their enemies discovered their bond. One night, he sought advice from Lu Feng. "What do you think I should do?" Lin Wu asked, his tone uncharacteristically uncertain. "You're a strong warrior, but you've never been good at handling your own emotions," Lu Feng replied, his sharp gaze unwavering. "If you truly care for her, don't let fear hold you back." One night, Lin Wu and Yen Nhi happened upon each other by the stream near their base. The moonlight reflected off the water, casting a serene glow over the scene. "Can't sleep?" Yen Nhi asked, her voice gentle. "I'm used to standing watch at night," Lin Wu replied, though the truth was that his thoughts of her had kept him awake. They talked about their pasts and futures, sharing vulnerabilities and hopes. In a rare moment of quiet, Yen Nhi said, "Thank you, for always protecting me." "I'm not just protecting you," Lin Wu replied, his gaze steady. "I believe in your ideals. And I believe in you." Her expression softened into a smile, though her words were caught in her throat. Though no declarations were made, an unspoken connection blossomed between them from that moment on. Their shared glances and gestures spoke volumes, and even the rest of the group began to notice. "I think they've finally realized what we all saw ages ago," Bai Shui remarked to the black fox, smirking. "Good," the black fox replied, its tone dripping with mock relief. "I couldn't handle another second of their unresolved tension." As the bonds between them deepened, the group's focus returned to their mission. "We've grown stronger," Lin Wu said during a strategy meeting. But to confront Elder He Xin and expose his schemes, we need a flawless plan. I've devised a way for us to infiltrate the sect without being detected, Lu Feng said. But it will require speed and precision. Then let's get to work, Bai Shui said, her eyes gleaming with determination. Though the road ahead was fraught with danger, the group's unity had become an unshakable source of strength. We're not just fighting for ourselves, Lin Wu said, his gaze lingering on Yen Nhi. We're fighting for what we believe in. And I won't let anyone stop us, Yen Nhi replied, her eyes shining with resolve. We're fighting for justice. And nothing will stop us, Yen Nhi added, her voice steady and resolute. Chapter 27, The Counterattack Plan. In a hidden base nestled among the mountain ranges, tension filled the air as Lin Wu's group gathered to discuss their counterattack plan. Elder Hak Tam, who had relentlessly hunted them and manipulated the sect, was not only a personal threat but also a symbol of the sect's corruption. We cannot sit idly by, Lin Wu said, his eyes blazing. If we let him continue, it won't just be us, innocent people will also suffer. Luke Fong, once a vital member of the sect, stood up holding a rolled map in his hand. I've studied the sect's structure. There is a way for us to infiltrate without being detected, but it will require precise coordination. Luke Fong laid out the plan, dividing it into 3 stages. Stealthy infiltration. Using a concealment formation set up by Luke Fong, the group would sneak into the sect undetected. Gathering evidence. They would search for documents or material proof to expose Hak Tam's shady actions, from sect manipulation to orchestrated assassinations. Creating chaos. Reactivating forgotten formations within the sect to distract the guards, providing the group with an opportunity to retreat safely. It sounds simple in theory, Bok Tuyet said, her tone serious. But if anything goes wrong, we'll be trapped in enemy territory. That's why every step must be calculated with utmost care, Luke Fong replied, his gaze unwavering. In the following days, the group devoted all their efforts to preparation. Luke Fong spent most of his time setting up and testing the formations, ensuring they could work effectively in real conditions. Bok Tuyet relentlessly trained her sword techniques, each slash as sharp as if slicing through air itself. She knew the upcoming battle would require not just strength but precision and speed. Hak Ho scouted for information on Hak Tam's current whereabouts and the elders loyal to him. Yen Nhi focused on concocting elixirs, preparing recovery and strength-enhancing medicines for emergencies. I've formulated a qi-concealing potion, Yen Nhi said, handing each member a small vial. This will allow us to suppress our spiritual energy for an hour. Lin Wu nodded, good, this will be the key to getting close without detection. Under the cover of thick darkness, the group left their base and advanced toward the sect. Using Luke Fong's formations and Yen Yi's potion, they bypassed the guarded gates and delved deep into the inner sect. Follow me, Luke Fong said, leading them through narrow paths and secret routes he once used as a disciple. In an old archive room, they uncovered crucial documents proving Hak Tam's use of forbidden spiritual herbs and his conspiracies to assassinate other elders to consolidate his power. This is exactly what we need, Lin Wu said, his eyes alight with determination. As the group prepared to retreat, a faction of disciples loyal to Hak Tam appeared, led by one of his trusted lieutenants, Ta Huyan, a sword cultivator notorious for his ruthless combat style. Did you really think you could sneak in here unnoticed? Ta Huyan sneered. The battle erupted instantly. Bok Tuyet engaged Ta Huyan head-on, each of her sword strikes a perfect balance of grace and power. Luke Fong used his formations to block the advancing disciples, giving his comrades room to maneuver. Hak Ho launched surprise attacks from behind, disrupting the enemy's formation. Yen Nhi deployed poisons to weaken their opponents, while Lin Wu focused on guiding the group out of the encirclement. Through their synchronized efforts, they defeated the attackers, though not without sustaining significant injuries. As they neared the escape route, the group activated forgotten formations within the sect, triggering a chain reaction that plunged the area into chaos. Powerful spiritual forces surged through the sect, scattering the guards and forcing other elders to focus on containment, giving the group a chance to escape safely. We need to leave quickly before everything collapses, Luke Fong said, leading the group out of the danger zone. As dawn broke, the group returned to their base safely, carrying crucial documents and evidence. We've taken the first step, Lin Wu said, his eyes gleaming. But this is only the beginning. Our enemies won't stop. Bok Tuyet nodded. Let's prepare for even bigger battles. The group realized they needed more support to confront Hak Tam and his loyal forces. I know of potential allies from other sects, Luke Fong said. They've also suffered injustices at the hands of Hak Tam and others like him. I'll persuade them to join us. Then we'll split up, Lin Wu said. You find the allies while we prepare for the next steps. Chapter 28. Allies from other sects. After safely returning to the base with documents exposing Elder Hak Tam's schemes, the group began discussing their next steps. Realizing their strength was insufficient for a direct confrontation, they decided to seek support from those with shared goals. "We need more people," Luke Fong said firmly. "I know some individuals from other sects who have suffered injustices at the hands of people like Hak Tam. But convincing them won't be easy. You're the only one who can do it," Lin Wu said. "We'll stay here and wait for your news." Luke Fong left the base, embarking on his journey to find those he believed could become allies. Though he didn't say it out loud, he knew this was a dangerous mission. Elders from other sects might view him as a traitor, and not everyone would be willing to join such a risky battle. Under the dim moonlight, Luke Fong stopped at a small inn on the border between two sects. There, he met Trin Hoi, a lone cultivator known for standing up against a corrupt elder in his own sect. "I don't trust anyone," Trin Hoi said coldly when Luke Fong broached the topic of collaboration. "Why should I risk my life for your fight? Because you know that if we do nothing, people like Hak Tam will continue to ravage this world," Luke Fong replied convincingly. "This isn't just my battle, it's the battle of everyone who wants justice." Trin Hoi remained silent, but his contemplative eyes betrayed his internal deliberation. Not everyone was as easy to persuade as Trin Hoi. Upon reaching Fong Van sect, Luke Fong encountered Nguyen Tan, a strong but famously aloof sword cultivator. "Why should I believe you're not a fraud?" Nguyen Tan asked sharply. "Because I was once part of the sect that Hak Tam is manipulating," Luke Fong replied, presenting the evidence. "I know he won't stop until every sect is under his control." Nguyen Tan studied him for a long moment before nodding. "I'll help, but don't expect me to trust you easily." At Bich Nok sect, Luke Fong was surprised to run into Han Duong, an old friend who had fought alongside him during their disciple days. "Luke Fong, I never thought I'd see you here," Han Duong said, his eyes lighting up. "I need your help," Luke Fong said plainly, wasting no time. "You know I don't ask for favors lightly. But this time, I can't do it alone." Though still skeptical, Han Duong eventually agreed. "If it's you, I'll trust you." In addition to powerful individuals, Luke Fong sought to ally with smaller sects, which were often oppressed by the larger ones. In a small village, he met sect leader Duan Lu of a minor sect with only a handful of disciples left. "We have nothing to lose," Duan Lu said after hearing Luke Fong's plea. "If you're truly serious, we'll join you." After days of searching, Luke Fong managed to gather a group of individuals and small sects willing to fight. In a meeting held in a remote forest, he outlined the counterattack plan. "This isn't just about overthrowing Hak Tam. It's about protecting the values we believe in." Determined eyes fixed on him, and a sense of unity began to take shape. When Luke Fong returned to the base, he brought news of their new allies. "I didn't think you'd succeed," Hak Ho said, his tone teasing but tinged with admiration. "I don't think we can lose," Luke Fong replied, his gaze unwavering. The group began coordinating with their new allies to develop a detailed plan for the upcoming battle. Despite their varied pasts and motivations, everyone shared the same goal: to defeat Hak Tam and restore justice to the sects. "This won't be an easy fight," Lin Wu said during the meeting. "But we have a reason to fight, and that's something no one can take from us." As the new allies began to integrate, Bok Tuyet seemed lost in her own thoughts. "Why do you always keep your distance from everyone?" Yen Nhi asked gently. "Because there are things I don't want anyone to know," Bok Tuyet replied, her gaze distant. The atmosphere grew solemn, but everyone could sense that a painful story lay hidden behind Bok Tuyet's cold exterior. Chapter 29. Snow White in the Past. In a base deep within the forest, while others were either asleep or busy preparing for the great battle ahead, Snow White sat silently in a corner of the cave. The flickering torchlight reflected on her face, revealing a vague and solemn expression. "You seem different tonight," Lin Wu approached, his voice gentle yet filled with concern. "Nothing's wrong," Snow White replied, but her eyes wandered far away, as if hiding a storm raging inside. "We all have our pasts," Lin Wu said, sitting down beside her. "But keeping it locked in will only make it heavier to bear." Snow White remained silent for a long time before beginning her story. Her voice was low, carrying the sorrow of old memories. "I'm not as strong as you think I am," she said, her cold eyes concealing a deep pain. Born into a prestigious family in a powerful sect, Snow White had once been the hope of her clan. Her father was a renowned sword cultivator, and her mother was a talented alchemist. Yet behind the glamorous facade lay endless schemes and power struggles. "One night, when I was just 12, the sect was ambushed," she recounted, her eyes flickering with pain. "The enemies weren't just after power, they wanted to annihilate everyone connected to us." Snow White's family was slaughtered before her eyes. Her father, though a mighty sword cultivator, was no match for the overwhelming numbers of the attackers. Her mother sacrificed her own spiritual energy to shield her daughter, draining herself completely and losing her life in the process. I was just a child, useless and weak, Snow White said, her hands clenched tightly. I could do nothing but run, leaving my family to die in agony. Lin Wu remained silent, his gaze filled with understanding. I swore I would never be that weak again, she said firmly. But the price of strength is solitude. Snow White recounted her lonely years after fleeing the sect. She survived by working for smaller sects, taking on dangerous tasks to make a living. I became a cold, hardened person, relying only on my sword to survive, she said, her voice bitter. But the stronger I grew, the emptier I felt inside. The wounds in her heart prevented her from trusting others or opening up. When she met Lin Wu and the others, Snow White initially saw them as nothing more than temporary allies. But their persistence, courage, and genuine friendship slowly began to change her perspective. I started to realize that strength isn't everything, she said, her eyes meeting Lin Wu's. Maybe I found a reason to fight, not just for myself. As Snow White finished her story, a heavy silence filled the air. Yen Nhi placed a hand on her shoulder, her eyes full of empathy. You don't have to fight alone anymore, Yen Nhi said gently. We're teammates, and we'll face everything together. Luke Fong, though silent, nodded slightly, his gaze filled with deep respect. Hei Ho leapt onto her shoulder, breaking the tension with a teasing tone, so, you do have a heart after all. The group burst into laughter, and for the first time, Snow White felt a sense of relief. After that night, the bond within the group grew stronger. Snow White no longer kept her distance, and her cold demeanor gradually gave way to subtle acts of care. We need to prepare for the next step, she said, her gaze resolute. Not just for ourselves, but for those we wish to protect. Lin Wu smiled. You've always been strong. Now, we'll be even stronger together. Snow White's story not only helped the group understand her better, but it also reminded them that everyone had their own reasons to fight. The next step is breaking the ancient seal, Luke Fong said during a meeting. The artifact there might be the key to balancing our power against Black Heart. Then there's no time to waste, Lin Wu said, his eyes shining with determination. We'll do whatever it takes to claim it. Welcome to Fantasy Realms. Enjoy the story, and thank you for your support. Chapter 30. Assault on the Ancient Seal. During the strategy meeting, Luke Fong shared information about the Ancient Seal, a site rumored to hold a treasure capable of turning the tide of any battle. This seal was established in ancient times to protect the ultimate artifact that many have sought for centuries, he explained. But breaking the seal won't be easy. The protective formations are so complex that no one has bypassed them without sacrifice. We have no choice, Lin Wu replied, his eyes resolute. If we want to confront Black Heart, we need this power. The group nodded in agreement, carrying their determination to overcome the challenge ahead. The ancient seal lay deep within a forgotten valley, where spiritual energy and resentment intertwined, creating a gloomy and chilling atmosphere. There's no sign of life here, Hak Ho remarked as they approached the valley. Something's definitely off. Bak Tuyet, gripping her ancient sword tightly, led the formation. Be cautious. Anyone entering this place must be prepared for the worst. The group advanced cautiously, each step wary of the abnormal spiritual fluctuations surrounding them. As they neared the valley's center, a golden light appeared, enveloping the entrance to the ancient seal. This is the first formation layer, Luke Fong said, focusing his spiritual energy to break it. It's designed to test an intruder's ability to control spiritual energy. While Luke Fong worked on dismantling the formation, sharp spiritual spikes erupted from all sides, targeting the group. Bak Tuyet used her ancient sword to destroy the spikes, protecting Luke Fong as he worked. Hak Ho darted around, distracting the spiritual currents aimed at the group. Yen Nhi provided recovery elixirs to sustain their stamina. After an hour of intense effort, the first formation layer was destroyed, but 3 more remained ahead. The second formation layer did not involve direct attacks but instead conjured massive illusions, forcing everyone to face their greatest fears. Lin Wu saw his loved ones being slaughtered, leaving him feeling helpless and guilt-ridden once again. Bak Tuyet relived the night her family was killed, powerless as her parents sacrificed themselves. Luke Fong confronted visions of being betrayed by his comrades, overwhelmed by isolation. Yen Nhi was engulfed by a massive fire that burned away all her hopes, making her question her ideals. This is just an illusion, Lin Wu shouted, trying to pull everyone out of their panic. We are stronger than this. Through their bond and determination, the group overcame the psychological trial, breaking the second formation layer. When the third formation layer was dismantled, a thunderous roar echoed. From the seal's center emerged a massive shadow dragon with blazing red eyes and obsidian scales radiating powerful spiritual energy. The artifact must be inside, Bak Tuyet said, drawing her sword, her gaze fierce. The battle was intense. Bak Tuyet and Lin Wu launched direct attacks, aiming to weaken the guardian beast's tough scales. Luke Fong used sealing formations to limit the dragon's swift movements. Hak Ho exploited his agility, targeting weak points like its eyes and joints. Yen Nhi supported the team with poisons and recovery elixirs, gradually sapping the beast's strength. After a grueling fight, Lin Wu unleashed the full power of the Sky Piercer sword, delivering a decisive blow that pierced the shadow dragon's chest. With the Guardian defeated, the final layer of light surrounding the seal dimmed. A massive door slowly opened, revealing a radiant space where a colossal sword bathed in pure white light floated in midair. "This is the artifact we've been searching for," Luke Fong said, his voice filled with awe. "The Holy Sword of Mystical Spirit," Yen Nhi exclaimed, recognizing the legendary artifact. "It's said to have the power to vanquish all evil forces." As Lin Wu approached to claim the sword, a voice resonated. "Only those who are worthy may wield me." A translucent figure appeared, taking the form of an ancient sword cultivator. He tested Lin Wu's willpower and determination through a spiritual duel. "Why do you fight?" the figure asked. "I fight not for myself, but for those I love and the ideals I believe in," Lin Wu replied, his eyes burning with conviction. After a fierce mental struggle, the figure gradually dissipated, and the sword descended into Lin Wu's hands. With the Holy Sword of Mystical Spirit in their possession, the group left the ancient seal, carrying newfound hope. "This artifact will be the key to balancing the scales of power," Bak Tuyet said. "But we can't grow complacent," Luke Fong cautioned. "There are rumors of a new secret realm appearing, one that other forces are already targeting. We need to get there before it's too late." "Then we waste no time," Lin Wu declared, his gaze firm.